topple some trees. It's just too dangerous of a situation with a thunderstorm of this magnitude. And it's growing in height. I mean, the heights continue to go. This storm is actually getting a little bit stronger. This might not be your typical garden variety thunderstorm that lasts for 30 minutes. We have enough upper level support, enough instability. These storms could easily last for a good hour, possibly 2 hours. And then we're going to see an outflow boundary from this, which is going to generate even more thunderstorms in a very unstable air mass. So we could have quite a ways to go with this storm. I'm going to zoom out again just to check that one cell just north has been developing. This one's growing quickly. Also a few storms along the 95 corridor, none of which are severe. That's good news. But the really unstable air mass is back from Charlotte towards Siler City, Southern Pines, down into Laurinburg. That's a very unstable air mass, and once these storms get going, they grow very quickly into the atmosphere. Once again, if you're just tuning in with us, we do have a tornado warning in effect for southwest Moore County, also just out of our viewing area, but Richmond County and also Montgomery County with this storm. And this is going to be in effect until 3 o'clock this afternoon. This little tiny notch down here is the possibility where the winds are so strong, what they're doing is blowing the rain off this direction like this. And then we typically have a better signature of a notch, but we could have that inflow coming in right in this direction. So if that's the case, we would be seeing possibility of rotation right there. And again, more than likely, if this is a tornado, it's going to be a weaker tornado, but even a weak tornado, an EF0 or an EF1 can do enough damage to topple trees easily, snap them in half, take a roof off a house. So if you live in the area of Foxfire, and I'm going to zoom right back into Foxfire because there's a reason. It looks like it's moving due in that direction. Let's get a little bit closer in now and analyze this. There's Foxfire. I'm going to lapse this so you can see the direction that it's moving. See this right in this area? I'm kind of following with the cursor. Yeah, this is the possibility of rotation in this area, moving right towards the Foxfire area. Again, if you live there, we want to make sure that we do get indoors. We want to make sure that we are going to be protected. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Stay away from the windows and hope for this to pass quickly and to do no damage. But again, even if we're not getting rotating winds here, you know, downforce winds, straight line winds in some cases can be just as devastating as seeing tornadic winds. Let's go. It's been just long enough now to see if I get new velocities in. Haven't quite got that yet. This is still the older image. We're going to probably leave it on here for a reason. We'll probably see it pop in just a second, and that'll allow us to see that latest image, and we can analyze it closely and see where we're getting this rotation. But again, if you're just tuning in, this tornado warning in effect for at least another 13 minutes or so, and if we continue seeing a signature this strong, we're going to have to extend this warning right on through probably 3:30 at least until this storm dissipates. And again, I'm not getting any damage reports in. I'm sure the Sheriff's Department down there is working hard to find any damage reports and to get people safe. But that's the most important thing right now, is to keep everybody safe. We don't want anyone getting hurt from this. You know, we can replace roofs, we can replace cars, we can replace a lot of stuff. We can't replace friends and family. We need everyone to be safe with this particular storm. Once again, in and around the Foxfire area, I'm waiting for the latest velocities. I'm going to go back to our live radar source. And I still have that little notch. This is not classic at all, reflectivity of what we would expect to see with a tornado. This could be rain wrapped, it could be very weak, but potentially there is enough of a rotation to get a tornado. And even if that's not the case, I wouldn't be surprised if we are seeing some straight line winds in excess of at least 58 to 60 miles an hour, which easily can do some damage as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and switch gears again, and be patient when I apologize. If you're not in this area, but you know, the folks that are in this area, this could potentially be life-threatening, so we have to take it extremely seriously. Here's the latest image now, and again, it's a broad circulation. I'm not seeing a really tight couplet anywhere, so what I'm looking at more than anything with this is just this broad circulation in this area, that we could be seeing some rotation. This is not a strong signature, and I'm happy about that. That's wonderful news that we're not seeing a super strong storm. A lot of times when you see a super strong one, it's good news because we know where it is. You know, it's easier to track the exact point of where this storm is. Right now, it's kind of a broad area, so I'm going to give you this big circle to show this area. We think there is potential rotation anywhere in this broad area. We could be seeing some rotation. Foxfire, it's moving right towards you at about 20 20 miles an hour, and this warning in effect for at least another 11 minutes or so. I think we're going to more than likely see this extended as long as I'm still seeing a signature like that, albeit a weaker signature. It's not a really strong one, but it's enough of a one to give us pause with this storm. And we don't want to take these lightly. You know, we don't want to see anyone getting hurt with storms, so we got to take this very seriously. I'm going to go ahead and clear this off really quick and zoom out, and we go back to the radar full screen. Here's our live radar now, and sometimes when we talk about a hook echo, it's a really good indication of a strong possible tornado. Well, here we're not seeing a really strong indication of that, but I am seeing a little bit possibility of winds are coming in this direction, pushing some of this rain out, and then the winds are coming here, pushing it in a little bit. Typically we'd have more of a notch, but we're not getting that right now. But again, if there is some rotation, I do believe it could be in this area right here. Foxfire, look at, I'm going to go ahead and lapse it so you can see that it isn't moving northeast or south. It's moving east right now, and some of that heavier band of rain there near that top of that arrow indicating I wouldn't be surprised if we're not getting some hail out of that as well. Let me put on a different source here. Bear with me. You know, this is August. This is usually not the time of year we're talking about tracking tornadoes, by the way. And Scott Dean had one last night at 11 o'clock. He was tracking it, a severe thunderstorm that had a tornado as well. So let me clear this off. Yeah, this is indicating, this is a little old image, but potential where you see some of that black right there, that we are getting some pretty decent hail. I'm going to go ahead and turn that and go back to the live radar. Let's see if we do have another... I'm going to go back here. It's been a while since we've had these buttons up because of the severe nature. Yeah, this is not a new image yet on our velocities. We're going to wait for that. But I'm going to go ahead and repeat what I've been saying. Once again, if you live in around the Foxfire area, if you are just tuning in right now, there's a tornado warning in effect. This is for Moore County. Other counties as well are in this, Richmond and Montgomery. They're not in our viewing area, but maybe you're tuned in and you can actually get us. You need to take precautions as well. Until 3 o'clock this afternoon, this warning will be in effect, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is extended a little bit longer, because we're still getting just enough of a signature that would denote, or at least let you know, to be responsible, we should continue this warning a little bit longer until we're not seeing that rotation at all. But again, we're not getting any damage reports, and we're back in Durham as well, and Larry's on the set and checking out to see if we are getting any damage reports. Larry, nothing. I haven't heard anything at this point. Have you heard of anything?
We've been checking around in areas all around Moore County and the Sanford area. We're not getting anything so far. We'd like to tell you, though, if you are concerned, make sure that you check in with abc11.com. You can sign up for Safety Net any time that you would like to by going to our website, and you can have these weather alerts sent right to your phone. I was going to tell you, Scott, this area where these storms are right now are headed directly over the Pinehurst area, starting with Foxfire, West End, and moving east right toward Pinehurst. That is probably the biggest concentration of golf courses in the entire state of North Carolina. No doubt a lot of guys are out on the course right now. They may or may not see this storm coming, but that's a dangerous place to be, is it not?
You're absolutely right, Larry. The golf course is probably the worst place you want to be. And if you have friends or family and they're out there golfing, give them a call. They might not know what's going on. They might not know what's coming, and they need to get off that golf course immediately and seek some shelter. Waiting for the latest image right now, but we're still seeing that possible broad rotation with this storm, but just enough to give us pause. We're not seeing a really strong couplet that we typically would see with a stronger tornado, but it doesn't matter. It looks like that possible rotation anytime could quickly spawn a tornado, and then it come right back up. I mean, this might only last for a few seconds and then come down with another one. So it's this general area we want to be very concerned about at this time. I'm going to go ahead and take you now a little bit closer in to Foxfire. By the way, when I hit this button, this actually is our live radar source. And again, I've been saying this all this time. I'm not seeing a really strong signature, at least as far as reflectivity of getting what we'd consider a tornado, but we might have just enough of a notch there to give us a pause that we potentially could be talking about rotation in this general vicinity just south now of Foxfire. If you live in Foxfire, you hear the thunder. You're seeing the flashes of lightning, and it is pouring rain right now, very heavy, big drops. I mean, our dew points are in the low to mid 70s, extremely humid air mass is in place, and we have a lot of instability. Then you factor on top of that an upper level disturbance, which can aid in the strengthening of these storms. There's a lot of factors coming together, a lot of severe parameters coming together. See that last pass by the radar? Now you see that magenta color? That doesn't mean anything tornadic. That's more than likely extremely heavy rain. More than likely, on top of that, probably some hail now, maybe the little pea-sized hail as well. But I'm going to go back to our velocities, and a lot of folks say, why do we do this ugly velocity thing here? And what this is actually telling us is winds. Doppler radar is very powerful, and it can pick up wind, speed, and direction. And when we have different colors close to each other, when we have the whites there close to the greens, that says one direction of wind. The green is the other direction of wind. So we know that we have some rotation. And we're not seeing a super strong couplet, but the strongest so far that we've seen is probably going to be in this general vicinity of getting some rotation. So the potential is there. Again, this is a Doppler indicated, meaning no one has confirmed this. We haven't had any spotters out there tell us anything, and the Sheriff's Department hasn't said they've noticed any rotation or anything like that as well. But if you're in Foxfire, even though it looks like now the rotation's to your south, pretend that it's right over you. I mean, get to the center of your house immediately. And again, we can't tell you enough, if you live in a mobile home, it's the hardest thing to do to leave your home. But get out of that mobile home. Those are just too dangerous. All the history that we look at, all the data that we look at suggests that a mobile home comes apart like a little splinter box, and all that debris can kill you or hurt you significantly. So you want to make sure that you get to some low ground and lay down. Believe it or not, that's the safest thing you can do. House, get to the center of the house, away from the windows, away from the doors. Get as many walls between you and the outside that you can do. And I can't stress enough how important a weather radio is. Now today, it's happening in the daytime. You have the TV on. We know what's going on. We have the radio. But at night, when you're asleep at 2 in the morning, you don't know. You need something to wake you up. Get a weather radio. That's a must in this part of the country. And stay protected until the storm passes. Now, the National Weather Service has whittled away this warning. I'm going to go ahead and show you that one more time as I turn the reflectivity back on. And I'm going to zoom out again. We're going to go back in a little bit closer, but look how they're whittling away this warning just a little bit, indicating that these areas outside of the warning no longer in danger, but still getting some heavy rain on the backside of the storm. If indeed we have that tornado, the odds are it's not up around West End, it's closer in around the Foxfire or south of the Foxfire area. We still have this little notch there. This is not a classic indication, but you know, sometimes when you have the wind coming in really strong this way and really strong, it pushes the rain out. And so we could have rotation as far south here is right there, according to our radar, as far as reflectivity. But reflectivity alone is not what to look at. We would like to look at other tools, and one that we really like, of course, is the velocities. This new velocity that just came in now is looking a little bit more ragged, which is good news. I'm not going to call this off just yet by any means, but still I think there's some broad circulation possible now well south of Foxfire, right in here. That looks like, again, broad circulation. I'm not seeing really, really strong rotating winds according to this particular element, our velocities. But doesn't mean it's not happening, doesn't mean we're not getting brief tornado touchdown, albeit it would be weak one at EF0, EF1, but even an EF0 or an EF1 is enough power to snap trees in half, to take the roof off a home, or to destroy a mobile home. So we're not talking about major tornadoes here. It doesn't have to be. I mean, we're talking about winds in excess easily of 70 miles an hour, and that's going to be enough to do some damage. Even if we're not getting rotating winds, we're more than likely going to be talking about straight line wind damage, and we'll probably see some damage reports out of this just south of Foxfire. Officially, this warning is going to be ending in about 3 minutes, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to have to extend that just a little bit. I'm going to zoom out because as we've been talking about other storms developing, And these are not severe yet, but the air mass that they're in, they can quickly get extremely powerful because the air mass is so unstable. So there's been a few just north of Robbins there trying to develop there just south of Siler City. Those two could get quite large. Also some now in Cumberland County. None of these are severe, but the potential is definitely there. I'm going to get a little bit closer once again. It's warning, but look, you know, Larry was mentioning how many golf courses are out here. The concentration of golf courses is significant, and we have this many golf courses around. You notice a lot of folks are out there, and they don't understand what's happening. Yes, there's a thunderstorm coming, but a lot of guys will just get under a tree and wait for it to pass. In a situation like this, if you know your friends or loved ones are out there playing golf, give them a call, tell them the situation, tell them to get off the course, find some shelter. Even if they go run to someone's house and knock on the door, can we come in, please, until this passes? You know, that's what they should do to be safe with this particular storm. I'm going to go ahead and look now and see if we have a new velocity in. That's still the old one, still broad circulation right now, not seeing a really strong couplet that would indicate a definite tornado right here so we can pinpoint the streets for you. But broad circulation is definitely what we're expecting right around here, just south. We've been talking about Foxfire for a long time. Foxfire, you are getting the heavy rain right now. If there's some rotation, I think it's going to be just to your south. But let's just take it seriously. Stay inside the center of your home until this passes. The storm itself might not pass for at least another 15 minutes or so in that general vicinity. I'm going to switch back now to our... Now, did you notice the warning is gone from the National Weather Service, the tornado warning? They allowed it to expire. And it's more than likely because we weren't seeing that really, really strong signature. You know, that one that was showing that really couplet where we say, oh, it's just a broad circulation, and plus on top of that, no damage reports. So this is all good news, but I still want to stress that this is a very strong thunderstorm, and the potential exists. We could be seeing still some broad circulation in the area. There's Foxfire is really raining heavily, but at this point in time, I'm not concerned about getting rotating winds right there. Let's go right back to the Level 2 velocities, and as I look at this, again, a broad circulation is possible, but not a guaranteed circulation enough to warrant that tornado warning. I agree with that. National Weather Service has taken that away. This could easily come back. We could easily get a tornado warning back with this cell, so I'm going to watch it very closely. And if you continue to see these storms near Pinehurst, if you have friends or family, we told you, contact them on the golf course. Even if I'm not getting rotation, that is a really strong thunderstorm. They need to seek some shelter. And if you live in and around this area, just stay in the lowest level of your home. If you have a single level home, get to the center of the house, get as many walls between you and the outside as you can. And again, abandon a mobile home. You might think that's the worst thing you'd want to do. I can't imagine if you have little kids, you got to say, kids, we have to run out into this storm. But believe it or not, you're going to be safer doing that than staying in the mobile home. History has taught us that time and time again. And you have to get a weather radio. That's a lifesaver, because most of these tornadoes, the ones where we get a lot of deaths, happen at night while you're asleep. You have no idea something is coming. Obviously, this is happening during the day and not the situation. So let me zoom out. We're going to probably take you back to regular programming here pretty soon. I just want to surmise it's now just a severe thunderstorm warning in that area. And these cells that are popping up all over, okay, I'm not saying they're all going to have rotation. More than likely, that's not the case. But I do think that with these cells popping up, the air mass is very unstable. There's a really good possibility that we are going to see some more severe thunderstorms. And I'm going to be here through the afternoon. We've got to continue getting the show ready for the 4 o'clock news. But if I need to cut back in, of course, I will do that for you, because these storms have that potential of getting some rotation. We're not seeing that much rotation right now, but the one cell near and close to in and around Southern Pines is the one that we've been concerned about. And there's Foxfire getting the heavy rain at this hour. No reports of any damage yet. Doesn't mean we're not getting damage. Just because I don't get a report in doesn't mean it's not happening. But I guarantee there's people out on the ground looking right now for damage and looking, and we have had 0 reports of getting any pictures in. Again, U-Report is a wonderful thing on our website. You go to abc11.com, go to the U-Report section. If you have a photo, you can upload that photo, and we can get it on the air as quickly as possible. And a lot of times, we have one of these tornado situations where we're not sure if there's a tornado. We're getting a Doppler indicated one. Then you guys send a picture in, and we see a funnel. And it makes all the difference in the world. We call that ground truth. And a lot of times we don't have anyone on the ground to actually see what's going on. The best way to report severe weather is with human eyes. And Doppler's a wonderful tool, does a great job for us, but getting out there and letting us know it's actually on the ground is a wonderful thing. I'm not telling you to leave your home. If it's in and around your home, don't do it. Wait until that storm passes. But if you're not too far away, a mile or two, you can see off in the distance, go ahead and take a photo for us. All right, let's get back to the radar. I want to show you what's going to go ahead and go on. Also, safety net. Here's another thing with safety net. You can apply for this, and you can actually get warnings texted to your phone. You just heard my phone going off, telling me about some warnings, and you can get that texted to your phone, and it's free. It's a wonderful service, and what we're trying to do is keep everybody safe. And in the long run, that's our goal here, is to keep you safe of these storms. The latest right now, I'm going to go ahead and see if we have any. And the reason I'm staying on is just to make sure that we're not getting a really strong signature. This is not a strong signature, but you know what? There is still some broad circulation possible in this area, just south of Foxfire. So broad circulation doesn't mean that we're getting a tight circulation that would spawn a tornado, but the possibility is there that could happen. Aberdeen, Southern Pines, Pinehurst. Let's go back to our reflectivity now. Pinehurst, you're getting some heavy rain. This particular storm is moving due east. I'm going to lapse it. You can see the direction it's moving. More than likely getting some strong winds and some hail, and it's moving right towards the Aberdeen area, and that'll be the case for the next 30 minutes or so with this cell. And a lot of times we talk about garden variety thunderstorms. When we say that, we're basically saying the lifespan of the storm, a typical thunderstorm from beginning to end, is about 45 minutes. Not so with these storms, and the reason is so unstable. These storms are going so high into the atmosphere, and we have upper level support, so they can last a little bit longer. But once again, to recap, tornado warning has been allowed to expire. I'm going to keep a very close eye on this for you as we go into the next couple of hours, and more storms are popping up right now as we speak. We're going to get everything ready for the 4 o'clock news, and we hope to see you then. In the meantime, we'll take you back to regular programming.
This has been an ABC 11 Eyewitness News AccuWeather Alert. We now return to our regularly scheduled program.